When something is too heavy for a man to lift, push or pull, he has to draw on the local resources. In many parts of the world, he has to rely on what are aptly called the beasts of burden to do his haulage work. In their slow, methodical, uncomplaining way, they've plodded through the centuries in the sweltering heat, providing the farmer with his livelihood and the population with the fruits of the earth. In the British Isles and other agricultural countries, there are still many farmers who rely on the horse as a means of pulling machinery and heavy loads. The horse is a reliable and willing worker, but his range is limited and his tempo is slow. He can't be here, there and everywhere, coping with the 101 odd jobs that crop up daily on the farm. What I want, says many a farmer, is something that can do everything the horse can do, plus a lot more, and at 3 times the speed. And here it is, the Land Rover. A tough, chunky, cheeky, versatile vehicle with an unlimited capacity for hard work. You can almost see it cock a snook at the old horse in the next field and hear it say, "Anything you can do, I can do better. Next job, please." What's this hitched on behind me? A pickup baler? Heavy? Yes, of course it is. But he's put me into low ratio and I've got a drawbar pull of 2,000 pounds, so there's nothing to it. And as for this harrow, well, I hardly know it's there. I do about 15 miles an hour with the side rake. It's quite a relief to stretch your legs or wheels occasionally. My next job is distributing fertilizer. Just round and round the field, pure routine stuff, even with half a ton on board. For crop spraying, I'm fitted with some special apparatus which is driven from my central power takeoff. This power takeoff also runs a generator for welding. I must confess I find it a bit on the dull side, being a stationary power plant, but it's all in the day's work and fences have to be strengthened. Another of my special fittings is a winch. This comes in handy for clearing undergrowth and pulling felled trees out of awkward places. It's a relief to be tugging something heavy. Well, fairly heavy, but I do hate having, as it were, to watch. The same goes for sawing up logs, another power takeoff job. I'm itching to get on the move again, but at least I have the satisfaction of knowing that with my help, 6 logs can be cut to your 1. Watering the cattle is another routine job. We go all over the farm, bumping in and out of the fields and fill up the troughs. A couple of cows have been sold to a neighboring farmer, and I have to deliver them. You'd be surprised at the variety of things, human and otherwise, I carry about. Pigs, poultry, corn, children, dogs, shooting parties, fencing, and milk churns. Every morning, year in, year out, I'm loaded up with milk churns and take them to the collecting platform. I've got so used to it, I could do it almost in my sleep. Sometimes we have an outing, such as taking our hunter to the county show. I particularly enjoy these occasions because I always meet a lot of my friends doing the same thing. Well, there's an average day's work for you. And I think you'll agree it bears out what I said at the beginning. Anything you can do, I can do better. From the small farm of a few hundred acres to the downland farm of 3,500. Here, in addition to the daily round we've just seen, the Land Rover has large distances to cover, usually well over 50 miles a day. It cheerfully combines the jobs of farmhand, shepherd, sheepdog, and cowboy, and at the same time enables the farmer to keep in touch with all parts of his land. If one of the dogs goes lame, the Land Rovers, working in pairs, take over and round up a herd of cattle as effectively as a couple of Texas cowboys. Can he hear a sturdy voice saying, "Anything you can do, I can do very nearly as well"? In industry, as in farming, the Land Rover is the ever-willing hack, the cheerful picker-up, carrier, and putter-down of men and materials. One of its most popular functions on large building sites is running a shuttle service to the canteen. On hot afternoons, many a thirsty man has had reason to be grateful to this pocket Goliath for saving him a long and dusty walk. There's something about the purposeful, functional Land Rover that makes an irresistible appeal to the young and the young in heart. Can we have a look at the engine, mister? Yes, certainly you can. There she is. 4 cylinders, 2 liters, overhead inlet valve side exhaust to give real slugging power. She develops 52 brake horsepower, does about 23 miles to the gallon on the road, and up to 60 miles an hour. How's she different from an ordinary car? Jump in and I'll show you. To begin with, she's got 4-wheel drive. That means you can go anywhere the tires will grip. Then you've got 10 speeds, 8 forward and 2 reverse, 4 high ratios for normal use and 4 low ones for the really rough stuff. That's one of the reasons it's so popular with the armed forces. Shortly after the Land Rover was introduced in 1949, it received its call-up papers for service at home and overseas. As an example, any day on Dartmoor you can see it engaged on exercises with the Royal Marines. From the Devon Moors to the Peak District in Derbyshire, where mountain climbers and air crews often find themselves in trouble. The Royal Air Force Mountain Rescue Service was formed in 1943. It's a voluntary organization, and its members are recruited from all ranks. These men give up nearly all their spare time to training in first aid and navigation over rough, mountainous country. It's not surprising that the sturdy four-wheel drive Land Rover should be the natural choice for this difficult and dangerous work. And so the Land Rover descends from the heights of heroism to the less exciting, but nonetheless very necessary daily ride, such as taking the farmer's wife and friend to the local shops. But the spirit of adventure is never far away. These station wagons were fitted out for an Oxford and Cambridge University Far Eastern expedition. Extra equipment such as water cans, 50-gallon petrol tanks and large winches was fitted. So that the expedition could be filmed, a special sliding roof was made for them. At sporting events, the Land Rover is always well in evidence. When it's not acting as a runabout for stewards, as likely as not it's answering the call of a glider pilot who has landed 10 miles from nowhere. If fire breaks out at the factory, the nippy little scarlet Land Rover tender gets off the mark in a flash to deal with the trouble. The Land Rover is equally at home pulling a pickup baler round a field, storming a ford on Dartmoor with men and guns, careering through dense bracken up a hill of 1 in 4 with the Royal Air Force, or rounding up a herd of cattle on the wide open spaces. In everything it does, the Land Rover certainly pulls its weight. And when asked to, many times its weight, such as a double-decker bus weighing 7 tons 11 hundredweight. Not bad gang for a littler. At Solihull, near Birmingham, where Land Rovers are made, each one is thoroughly road tested on the company's private track. In all shapes, colours and sizes, they stream round the tarmac before being passed out as fit to tackle the uncharted bumps, ruts and potholes of the world. Whether they will become the property of farmers, industrialists, the services, explorers, or the private motorist, of one thing you can be certain. In the words of the confident, rugged, go-anywhere Land Rover itself, anything you can do, I can do better.